Hello, this is Stephanie Miziak, and today I'll be sharing with you a story that I first became familiar with about a year ago when I read it to my daughter. It was a book we checked out from the library called Princesses Are Not Quitters by Kate Lum. And my daughter loved this book, and I loved this book, so I thought I'd share the story with you today. Once upon a time, there were 3 princesses named Allie, Mellie, and Libby. And they lived in a beautiful kingdom, in a palace made out of silver and surrounded by roses. The princesses were dressed in the most gorgeous outfits. The illustrations in the book are very detailed of the frills and the laces and flounces all over their dresses and their beautiful elaborate hats and their teeny tiny little high-heeled shoes with little baubles on them and bows and just the epitome of the most beautiful princesses. So here they are in this wonderful kingdom, in this wonderful palace, where they have servants to do everything for them, and they're out sitting on their beautifully manicured lawn one morning, having their breakfast together, drinking their tea, and they realize that they're actually bored. And they look across the lawn at the servant girls lugging some buckets, and they think, why do they get to have all the fun? Today we are going to, how about we take over the jobs of the servant girls and have ourselves some fun. Of course, the servants are thrilled. They, kick off their shoes, and the princesses, mind you, without changing their clothes or their shoes, run off to the housekeeper, the head housekeeper, and let her know that they're going to be taking care of the chores for the day. So she gives them a list of the morning chores, which is a real doozy. They have to garden, they have to wash the dog and wash the cats and cook the food and prep the vegetables, and they work and they work and they work, and there's this long list of things that they must do. And when they finally come sort of limping into the kitchen around lunchtime to get their lunch, Mrs. Blue tells them they're late, that the lunch has all been eaten and gone, and that but here's their list of the afternoon chores. And that's sort of a shock for them, and they think, well, but princesses aren't quitters. So they kind of hike up their stockings and go back out to it. They find they have to make the bread and actually make the butter and stamp the butter and tend to the animals and clean the floors and wash the curtains, and they have to work all afternoon, and they finally come stumbling into the kitchen to tell Miss Blue that they're all done with their afternoon chores and they're just famished, ready for dinner, and of course they're late for dinner. So Mrs. Blue said, sorry, there's no dinner left for you, but here's a list of your evening chores, to which they are just in shock and dismay, but they want to quit, but they say, no, princesses are not quitters. So they forge on, they do their dinner dishes, they have to make sure all the animals are bedded down for the evening, there's more washing to do, more cleaning to do, the fire needs to be tended, and they make the bread for the morning, and they just practically drag themselves to bed. And at this time, you can imagine, the dresses that started out so beautiful are torn and dirty. Their shoes, their heels have been broken off. Their hair is wild. There's birds, I think, nesting in them. And these girls are just a wreck. So the next morning they come out and once again are having their nice breakfast on the lawn, and they are very happy to be princesses again. And as they look down, they realize this is the bread that I made yesterday. And they eat it just with so much more delight. And this is the butter that I made. And, they're buttering their bread and really enjoying it and appreciating the fact that it was them who, did this. And this is I milked the cow that, helped to make this butter. And they start to realize that sense of pride in hard work that has paid off. So while they're still tired, they do make a decree that all servants should have longer breaks, fewer jobs, and more vacations to enjoy their lives, and that the princesses themselves want to lend a hand each day in the completion of these tasks. And they have a great illustration at the end of the book where as the princesses Allie, Mellie, and Libby are helping. They have on a little bit more sensible boots this time. No more high heels. They're wearing boots, and they're wearing aprons to cover up clothing that's a little bit more suitable for the hard work that they're going to share in. And I just love this story because I feel like it gives, especially girls, because girls are probably going to be the ones who are reading this, it gives them a sense that hard work isn't a bad thing, that it can be tough, but it's not bad, and that there's a sense of accomplishment when you're done, but that when you do it, make sure to wear good shoes. So, hope you enjoyed this story, and have a lovely day. Thank you.